The Cube franchise is a series of sci-fi horror films that began with the release of Cube in 1997. The films explore the psychological and physical challenges faced by characters navigating deadly maze-like structures. Let's dive into a breakdown of the franchise and let's explore the theories, and I'm also going to provide the ranking from best to worst. Cube is a 1997 Canadian independent science fiction horror film. This one is directed and co-written by Vizino Nata. It introduced viewers to a group of strangers who wake up in a maze of deadly rooms. Each room presents unique challenges from traps to interpersonal conflicts. The film explored themes of survival, trust, and the unknown. The group dynamic becomes central to the narrative as characters grapple with the trust issues and conflicted motivations. The ensemble cast includes characters with diverse backgrounds and skills, adding layers to the interpersonal dynamics. The film explores how fear, survivor instincts, and personal conflict shape the character's decision in the face of an imminent danger. So, 5 different people, Quentin, Holloway, Worth, Levan, and Renus, are met at the same room, unaware of how they got here and why they are here. Quentin, a divorced police officer who was exploring, warns a group of body trap rooms. Levan, a young mathematics student, noticed metal plates with 3 sets of numbers attached into them. Renus is an escape artist who fled 7 prisons, tests his theory, and each trap could be set by motion detectors by throwing his boot into the room. This initial works, but after jumping into a room, he didn't make it at all. So the group, horrified, realized that each trap is set by different sensors. Quentin believes each person was chosen specifically to be there. The initial draft had a more comedic tone in the surreal images and a cannibal edible moss growing on the walls with a monster that roamed the cube. Roommate and childhood filmmaker partner Andre helped Natalia strip the central idea to its essence of people avoiding deadly traps in a maze. Scenes outside the cube were deleted and the identity of the victims changed. In some drafts, there were accounts in other criminals with the implication that their banishment of the cube was part of a penal sentence. One of the most important dramatic changes was the removal of a food and water for a more urgent escape. In the behind the scenes, the set contains just one cube, changed into different colors by means of gel panels. Since it's a one-time consuming process to change from one to another, the film was not shot in sequence, rather color by color. The red gels was the first to be installed, meaning all scenes in the red rooms were shot first. As it happens, Red Rooms contains the most dialogue-heavy scene in the film, including Worth's big stairs no conspiracy speech to Holloway. The film has its modest budget and a tight schedule, and David Hewitt recalled being very apprehensive at shooting scenes that contains pages of prayer dialogue on this part and very earlier of the shoot. He also felt that the Worth lines, "Well, I feel better," after his rant to Holloway, rang immersively true into a personal level, as the remainder of the shoot was much less dependent on the memorism. The ambiguity in this film allows a various interpretation. When I first watched this film, the first thought was the characters in some type of way was part of a government experiment. Okay, it was very obvious. But I love how the film captures the whodunit mystery. But this is the reason why I like this film, because it leaves unanswered questions that can provide audience and theories. So you already know that the first Cube is my top one that I prefer to watch. After waiting for 6 years, Cube 2 Hypercube finally came out, and this time it is directed by a different director and writer, and that is also Ezu Saku, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, and Sean Hood. 7 captives, Kate, Simon, Jerry, Max and Julie, the blind Sasha, and the elderly Miss Pearly find themselves trapped in the bright lit cubes, each with a panel on each of the 6 slides, which are doors to the other rooms. They come across Colonel Thomas McGuire, who informs the group that they must solve a code in order to escape. A wall then begins to close in on the group, and they escape while Thomas initially stays behind, and Kill later experience around the cube reveal that the gravity can operate in different directions in each room. While Miss Pearly, who is revealed to be retired theoretically mathematician, and Jerry realize that they may be in a Tizek as a hypercube. Kate noticed the numbers, which is 60659 in every room. The group soon realized that they are in some way connected to Izon, a defense contractor. The film is set in a different in motives, and I like how we get to see the new characters in different directions. I thought the film was okay. It definitely is a slow burn, but it still gives you that mystery, but does reveal what happened towards the end of the movie, and no one didn't survive. This installment earns points for exploitation of the cube's origin and ethical dilemmas. It adds layers to the franchise narrative while maintaining the suspenseful atmosphere. Cube Zero, this one is also from a different director, and this one is directed by Ernie Barsha. It's the third installment of the Cube series and a prequel to the first film. It explores the origins of the deadly cube and the organization behind Cube Zero that add layers of intrigue and dives into the ethical implication of the cube existence, the exploitation of ethical dilemmas, and the film dives into the consequences of using human subjects or unwilling participants in a deadly experiment. So the storyline introduces a sense of more of prompting characters and viewers to question the motive behind the creation of Cube, while Cube Zero sheds the light of the organization motives. It doesn't fully unravel or ultimate purpose of the cube, inviting viewers to contemplate the broader implications of cube existence. While visually, the sequel is often seen as more confusing and less focused than its preceding. It polarized fans with a departure from the established tone. I really wasn't feeling Cube Zero. I was kind of a little bit disappointed of how they kind of structured things and how they kind of changed that storyline. It still had the same dynamic when in regards to having strangers that's in a cube and they don't know where they are or who they are. But at the same time, I felt like it could have been a little bit more, and I really just wasn't feeling it at all. So the last one, which is the Cube, which had came out in 2021. This one is the Japanese version, and after looking at the reviews, I really didn't want to watch it, but I decided to watch for you guys anyways. And this one is just basically a science fiction horror film, and this one is a remake of the 1997 Canadian film of the same name. So it's the first film in the Cube series. I wasn't feeling that one either. I just thought it had the same dynamic as, like I said, strangers don't know who they are, basically trying to figure out what's going on. But I thought the acting was terrible, and that's just my opinion. Most people probably will enjoy the remake of Cube, but I just didn't enjoy it. So y'all already know where that is going to be in my ranking. The Cube franchise offers a unique blend of psychological horror and sci-fi elements to arouse its mystery and engage a speculative decision. Whether exploring the theories, ranking the films, the Cube franchise continues to captivate audience with its enigma and deadly maids. So, I still enjoy the Cube franchise. I still watch it until this day. I will not be watching the Japanese version of it. But I would say this is a definitely underrated gem that should be talking about a little bit more. I really hope they do make another Cube, and this time because I feel like they need to make up from the Japanese one and the last one. If you enjoyed this deep dive and breakdowns of theories, you can check out the other twos that I have put out here. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, and until then, see you later.